What's going on? Brad here with Your Way Lawn Care. Just want to make a quick video, give y'all my final thoughts from my demo of the ECHO SRM2620 that we did last week. So we used the trimmer for 3 days. Um, First day, I absolutely hated this trimmer. First thing I had to do was take a handle off of a steel trimmer and put on an ECHO trimmer because the ECHO handles are definitely made for right-handed people. I'm a left-handed person. It does not work for me at all. Most people stand, if you're looking down the trimmer towards the head of it, they're going to stand to the left side. I stand to the right side, which puts my right hand in a bind holding their loop handle. Because I'm left hand dominant, I use my left hand for the throttle, not my right hand. So that was the first downfall to this trimmer. Right off the bat, it's been an issue. It's actually why I went from ECHO to steel in the first place. As a homeowner, I used ECHO equipment and had no problem with it. Never had a problem with a piece of equipment that I had from them. Going into the commercial aspect of it, using it day in and day out, full days time, it becomes an issue with the way it binds up your wrist. Becomes a very painful because of the position that you're in. So ECHO, that's one thing that I would say definitely you need to look at, because as a growing business owner, I buy several pieces of equipment every year, and my business is actively growing. I'm getting bigger and bigger every year. And as I get bigger, I'm going to be buying more equipment. So if you want my business, it wouldn't matter how big I got, how much equipment I needed. I would never buy what you have because I'm left-handed and it doesn't work for me. So even if it worked for my employees, I wouldn't buy it because it's not something that's comfortable for me to use as the business owner. So that's definitely a big negative for me, and definitely will keep me in the steel line no matter what happens until that is changed. Um, so getting into the actual trimmer itself, the operations of it, the workings of it, I actually really liked the trimmer. Once I used it a couple days, it got more comfortable. Some positives for me are I like the handle of it, the actual throttle handle. The trigger is longer than what the steel is, so that gives I can put two fingers on it very, very comfortably. Um, so it's definitely very comfortable trigger, very comfortable handle. I really like the rubberization in it that's built into the handle, so it's a little bit more comfortable. It reduces vibration through the handle itself, so that's definitely a big plus. Great job there, ECHO. Um, it's a little bit longer than the steels that we run, and the head of it actually sits at a bit of a different angle, so you're not bent over as much, in my opinion. If you're a taller person, I can definitely see that being a perk to that trimmer. As a taller individual, um, I'm only about 5'10", so it was a benefit towards me. I could tell the difference in it. Um, when I'm flat trimming around stuff. Now trimming heels, I didn't like that angle as much because you have to hold the trimmer higher, the engine higher at your back to keep it flat. Where the steel with the angle of theirs, it's a little bit different. You don't have to pick up on that engine if you're mowing a big hill or something. Um, Overall, I did like the trimmer. I like the fact it's a two-stroke, so it's definitely going to be less maintenance. Although with my force mixes, I've never really had an issue with them. I've never adjusted valves in any of them, but I do take care of my equipment. It gets regular. I change the plugs. I change the filters. Um, so I take care of my stuff. I average a 2-year use period on a piece of equipment, and then I look to sell it and replace it. So every 2 years, I'm rolling over equipment, and that's just because of the wear factor. After 2 years, if you're using a piece of equipment commercially, you should start to have problems with it. I don't care what you're using, you should start to have some issues with it because of the wear and tear on that piece of equipment. So with me rolling over equipment every 2 years, it's never been an issue for me. Um, I do have one older piece of equipment that we have changed the carb on, but that's it. That's the only thing I've ever done to a piece of steel. Knock on wood. Not going to say that happens with everybody. But any piece of equipment, if you have it, you take care of it, you maintenance it regularly, um, you treat it nice, and you shouldn't have a problem with it. Don't run crap gas in your weed eaters because you're gonna have problems. I don't care what you're using. I run 93 octane, which is the highest octane we have pump gas here. Some people might not have it that high, but run the highest octane fuel that you can. It burns hotter. These small engines like higher octane fuel. They like to burn hot. Um, so I do like the fact that the trimmer is a two-stroke because of the maintenance issue. The guy that's working with me currently, one of the things that he noticed on the trimmer was it pretty much started the first pull every time after you had it running that initial time to warm it up. Um, once a two-stroke engine is warm, it's really, really nice. It starts really easy. It runs really good. It had plenty of power, so to say. It's comparable to the Steel FS94R trimmer. I currently run the 100RX. If you're running a 100RX and you go get this trimmer, you're going to be terribly disappointed because you're comparing a 26cc engine to a 31cc engine. So you're comparing apples to oranges in that case. If you're running a 94 and you go get the 2620, you're going to be comparing apples to apples, and I think you would be happy with it either way you went. I don't see a problem with either one of them. Um, I noticed a little bit of lag in the head of it. Um, when I hit the accelerator, it does have a flexi cable shaft in it, which so do the 94Rs and the 100RX. Now the 111RX has a hollow steel shaft in it, and not actually a flexi cable shaft. So that was something I noticed. So it's like that shaft has to wind a little bit and get some tension on it before that head actually starts spinning. Most people may not know that. It's a very, very brief lag in it, but it's there. Um, see, what was some other things? Echo has done a lot to make it a toolless system. You basically can unscrew several things by hand, and you can have access to a lot of things on this trimmer, which is really nice in the field. You don't have to worry about running back to a truck to grab a T-bar, steel tool, or whatever to be able to take something apart. Um, I like the speed feed heads. I tried them on my steel equipment, but never really could get them to work perfectly like they should have run. So I do like the speed feed head. I like the speed feed system that Echo has. It makes it a lot easier. You don't. I'm constantly looking at my trimmer heads throughout the day, making sure that they're full of string on my steels. I don't do that with Echo. I put a roll of string in my pocket and I go. Because if you run out, it takes 30 seconds to a minute to put string back on the head. So that's definitely a big plus to the Echo brand of equipment. It's super lightweight. It's a comparable weight to the 94R and the 100RX, which is why I have a hard time saying that I would switch, because I'm getting a 31cc engine for nearly the same price and nearly the same weight. So I'm getting that power with about the same weight and same price. So that's hard to say it's a comparable switch. Now the 26T model may make a difference in that, giving you that lower end torque that a four-stroke motor has for thick stuff. We have heels behind most properties we do that we have to cut once a month. I did cut one of those with the trimmer, and it bogged a lot doing it. And that was the first property I used it on. So it was kind of a bad taste as soon as I started messing with it because I was like, this really sucks. Overall, I think it's a good trimmer. I don't think it's anything that somebody should shy away from if they're looking to buy a trimmer. If they're looking at Echo, they're looking at steel. The 2620, the 94R, they're two very comparable model trimmers. The prices are very comparable between the two trimmers. They're both two-stroke, so either way you went, I think you would be buying a great piece of equipment regardless of which one you went with. Now, some negatives to this trimmer that I didn't like personally. When I first picked it up, it felt cheap. And that could just be because of muscle memory, the way that the steels feel to me. I don't think it's built cheap after using it 3 days, but the first time I put my hands on it, I was like, wow, this is really light. It feels really cheaply built. I don't think that's the case after using it. I think it's a well-built machine. I don't like the guard on it, the shroud down at the trimmer head. It's really narrow. It's a lot smaller than what the steels are. It does allow you to be able to see a little bit better around the head, which can be nice, but I live in the South, so it gets really hot in the summertime, and we wear shorts sometimes during the summer. So I wore shorts one day when it was 95 degrees for this thing, and it threw stuff all over me. It hurt my legs terribly, and I'm not used to that at all. Now, this trimmer had the ECHO Black Diamond line on it, which I've actually been running on my steel equipment, and I have found this line to be probably one of the best I've ever put my hands on as far as durability and cut quality. Slices right through grass. You don't really have anything left over it. The durability of it, if you're edging with it along concrete, it holds up really, really well. It holds up edging around flower beds. If you're popping the trimmer up, you're going right around them as you're trimming. It holds up really well to that also. So I don't really, another big con, and my biggest con that I mentioned at the very beginning of this video is the loop handle on the ECHO equipment. ECHO, if you could do something about that, I mean, I know it may be a push to try to change something or whatever, but these are predominantly right-handed pieces of equipment. I know we live in a right-handed world, but there are people like me who are left-handed, who are trying to grow a business, who are growing a business, and who are running a business that are maybe turned off from your equipment because of this one thing. My dealer, who is an ECHO dealer, said he's had several other guys tell him the same thing, and that's why they run steel equipment. If you want to know why I don't have $10,000 worth of ECHO equipment and I have $10,000 worth of steel equipment, it's your loop handle, guys. It's your loop handle. It's your loop handle. I made the change from ECHO to steel because of the loop handle. Figure out a way to change it. Figure out a way to make it comfortable for left-handed people. If you had a handle that was straight, that works fine. They're similar to what steel has. On the 100RX that steel has, they have a horseshoe-style handle, which horseshoes away from you. So it gives you angles on both sides. The angle away from you for a left-handed or right-handed user. It's a very comfortable handle. I actually really like it. So, ECHO, got to change your handle if you want my business. But this is my honest opinion of this trimmer after using it for 3 days. I don't think it's a bad trimmer. I think it's a well-built trimmer. I think it's a good piece of equipment. I would like to see something from ECHO in that 29-31 cc range that would give you a little bit more bottom end and some thick things, similar to what steel has, but with that same weight classification, so you're getting everything in one. So ECHO, I think you've done a great job with the trimmer. I can't talk bad about it anymore. I've used it. I put my hands on it. I think it's a great piece of equipment. I will not down that trimmer anymore in any way. I will not down the Black Diamond trimmer line. I like it. I'm using it. I'm currently using it, and I will remain using it until I get something else. I've got some of the new steel line ordered. I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of those. I'm not endorsed by Steel or ECHO. This is all stuff I'm buying 100% out of my pocket, guys, so you're going to get a 100% honest opinion. Right now, the ECHO Black Diamond line hands down walks away from everything else on the market, in my opinion. Um, I actually just bought a case of Red Armor oil today. I picked it up, an entire case. So as of June 1, I'm making a switch to this ECHO Red Armor oil. I've got an endoscope. I'm going to be taking pictures of all of my inside of all of my equipment. Um, Again, I bought this out of my pocket. It cost me almost $150 for this case of oil. But I want to do an honest review of it. Echo hasn't gave me anything. Echo hasn't flown me to Chicago. I don't owe Echo anything, any great opinion, because they've done stuff for me. They've done nothing for me. I want you guys to have an honest opinion. Not saying these other guys aren't going to do it, but I feel like if they're doing stuff for you in this way, you're going to have an opinion that's going to benefit them in some way. So we're going to put this stuff in all of our equipment, and we're going to see what it does. We're going to run it until the case is empty. I would say it would probably at least last 3 months. It's 8 6-packs. We'll probably go through a pack and a half a month. So at 8 packs, we should be able to get 3 months out of this case. We may get a little bit longer out of that, just depend. But we're going to run it until it's empty. And I'm going to tell you what I think. And I'm going to tell you how it works. If it's cleaning my equipment, if my equipment feels like it's running better, we're going to find out. So guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and be on the lookout for some more videos in the future.